I was 26 years old. I was at an office job for a few years now. It was a recession. It was a big recession. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to Brazil. So I go with a friend of mine, and he would be the perfect person I would want to go with because he's a hoe. He's a hoe in New York, he's a hoe everywhere, so he's going to be a hoe in Brazil. And I didn't want anyone cock-blocking because I was thinking the same thing. So it's like perfect, the perfect person to go with. Without it being a romantic trip or something, or a miscommunication where, oh, does this mean we're more than just friends because we're going on a vacation together? No, I thought it was pretty clear. So, I'm being a tourist and I'm on a trolley and there's no seats available, so I'm hanging off the side, holding on to the railing, and I see some bushes coming up right before we go into a tunnel. So I bring my body inward towards the trolley instead of hanging out because it looked like it could scrape me. Thorns and branches and sticks and stuff. So I was already aware to pull in. So I did. It passes. And then I just retracted a little bit a few seconds later. Bam, whacked in the head. So they stopped the trolley. I almost passed out. They tried to keep me awake. I had the blood from my head. And they find a police officer with a car to drive me to the hospital. And my friend goes with me. And I was thinking to myself, we were talking about Grey's Anatomy for some reason. And I was like, where are all these hot doctors at that are on these TV shows at the time? So I didn't ever have any doctors that look like that. So I'm in the emergency room waiting, and all of a sudden I see they're all in Brazil. All the doctors are hot. So that was distracting. They gave me 4 or 5 stitches, I don't remember. I still have a scar. And they gave me x-rays and a tetanus shot. And all they did is ask for my passport, and they didn't charge me anything. And they gave me the physical x-rays to take back with me to the US because my flight was the next day. So I was like, wow, this is totally different than what I was expecting, because still the fear-mongering is other countries' healthcare systems are worse for being universal coverage, and they're not. Anyway, I'll get to that a little bit later. That's a side story. But, so I was in a really bad mood. I was still in pain, and I'm at the hotel room, and my friend was really bugging me. And, I have ice to my head, and elevated, so I'm not comfortable. And he's trying to tell me out of nowhere after, what would have been maybe 8 or so years of knowing each other, that he liked me and he wanted to date me. And I just lost it because I was already drugged up, and also I had a concussion. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this right now. This is the worst timing. I just got whacked in the head on the trolley. So I wasn't responsive, and I was like, I didn't take him seriously either, because I know how he is. I felt like a lot of our friendship coming up to that point was him trying to get in my pants, incessantly over the years. He never gave up. So I always wondered if it was a sexual thing. I mean, it was clearly a sexual thing on his part, but we did whatever we did, and he wanted more than that, and it was never enough. He was still trying. And I think I took it as, I didn't take it as a sincere show of emotion. It seemed like a tactic of him thinking that's what I would want to hear to give him some. And I'm like, you ain't fooling anybody, I know. Oh, I didn't mean to say the name, I had to change it. But I was like, I know too much about you to take you seriously, so he was offended. And then I was just in a bad mood the rest of the night, and then the next morning we had to go get our flight back to the US anyway. So I didn't really talk. I had to look up something on the laptop that must have been his, it wasn't mine, but I asked him if I could use it, and he let me. And when I was trying to type into Google, it showed the last search that was done at that computer, which was not me, it was him. So I wasn't looking for anything, I was just using Google, and it suggested, why is my boyfriend's Aloof? And I was like, wait, first of all, boyfriend, who's boyfriend? And then, I've been called a lot of things. In many ways, but Aloof is pretty succinct and not commonly used even at the time. Removed or distant, either physically or emotionally. In an aloof, unfriendly manner, he stood aloof from worldly success. But it wasn't even a debate about whether I was aloof or not, but the fact that he put boyfriend. And then I was like, does he think he really likes me? But I knew that he was back and forth with an ex of his on and off again, and he would tell me stories about it. So I never really thought he'd be interested in anybody, let alone me. And we didn't talk for maybe less than a year or so, and then there was no really formally addressing what happened, but we just kind of casually got back in touch and hung out a few times after that. But then he moved his office to another part of town, so we didn't go to lunch as often as we were able to up until that time. And then he kind of disappeared on me too, so I was dating someone, and it was about a year, and it was almost towards the end, which means it was pretty bad. And he was a bartender at a bar that I would go to even before he was ever worked there with my friends. But now he'll be doing happy hours some nights, and I'd be there with my friends. And he was very jealous, and like anyone I stood too close to and like leaned in to talk to in a loud club, it was suspicious to him, like that. So I hadn't seen this person in a few years, and all of a sudden he comes into the bar, and I'm like, oh fuck. One, because it's him. Two, because my boyfriend is crazy, and this is just gonna be another thing for him to argue about. So I kind of iced him out. I gave him the very bare minimum, and I didn't explain anything because I was also kind of mad at him anyways. Like, this is not the place to talk about it. And then I never saw him again. He moved to another country, and we had some mutual acquaintances in common, but I didn't see an active social media profile, and I at one point messaged him on Facebook before I deleted Facebook, but I don't know that he ever got it because it goes to spam or to a filtered inbox or whatever, and that was that.